Hello and welcome to A Book in 5 Minutes. My name is Lindsay Milner and I'm a training and development consultant, and I work mainly with non-profit organisations to help them to create awesome workplaces. And while I've been engaged in that work, I have read many books. Books on business development, personal development, effective management, and books on thinking. And I thought it might be interesting to share some of the things that I've learned from those books with you. This week's book is called Bounce, and it is by Matthew Syed. Let's see if we can get it so that the light's not reflecting off the cover. Matthew Syed is a former British #1 in table tennis, and he's now a journalist and a presenter, sports presenter, as well as an author. And this book is in 3 sections. Oh, let's give you the subtitles of it first. It's called Bounce and it's subtitled The Myth of Talent and the Power of Practice. So that tells you essentially what the book is about. And according to the testimonial by Duncan Bannatyne, it's a must read for anyone who believes hard work will achieve success. So the book is divided into 3 sections. The first section looks at the myth of talent, and it draws quite heavily on the work of Anders Ericsson, who we've come across before. He's the one whose studies originated this idea of 10,000 hours, or as Syed calls it in here, it approximates to around about 10 years. So to get really good at anything, you've got to invest that 10,000 hours. And Syed kind of dissects that a little bit, talks a little bit about it, and also talks about child prodigies. Is there such a thing as natural ability, natural talent, a child prodigy? And concludes that there isn't. That's the myth. The reality is it does focus on this 10,000 hours of practice. Not just any old practice, but deliberate practice. And also use things like feedback loops to improve your skill at a particular task, whatever it is that you're working on. And also another old friend, mindset. You might remember we talked about Carol Dweck's book, Mindset. And having a growth mindset is essential to becoming excellent in whatever field it is you're seeking to excel. The second section of the book takes this point about mindset a little bit further and investigates a little bit more deeply into the psychology of the mind. He looks at the power of belief and the placebo effect and the role of superstition. And this section, he does kind of focus a reasonable amount in sports and sports psychology, but there are some useful lessons for us, whatever field we happen to work in. The third section reflects a little more widely into the attitudes that this kind of talent, that this myth talent has. And there's a particularly interesting chapter in there about do black people have a natural ability to run? And he really examines what's behind that belief, which I thought was particularly interesting. There's also a discussion about the impact that sort of further progress and further growth, what does the future hold in terms of the future growth for human effort and endeavour. I thought this was an absolutely fascinating read, and there is a lot of information, useful information in here that you can take away whatever field you work in, and whether you, as Bannatyne says in his study, if you believe that hard work leads to success. Yeah, that's almost right, but it's not the full picture. It's this picture of deliberate practice. Lots of really useful stuff to take away, and I would definitely recommend a read of this if you want to understand a bit more about what it takes to excel in a particular field. That is Bounce by Matthew Syed, this week's book in 5 minutes. Let me know if you've read it. What do you think of it? Oh, I will mention a couple of other books that he talks about. He talks about Talent is Overrated, which admittedly I haven't read. He also talks about Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers, and he draws on some of the things in those 2 books as well. I have read Outliers, but it was quite a while ago. And the main thing I do remember is this idea of 10,000 hours. So if you're interested in this particular field, yeah, I definitely recommend this book as a worthwhile investment of your time. I'd love to know what your thoughts are of the book, if you've read it, or if you think you'll go out and give it a read. Drop me a comment in the comments box below. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel and get updates of the regular book in 5 minutes. Until next time, I'll see you then. Bye.